Welcome back, everyone. VxRail video update number 6. Thanks again to all our viewers that's been joining us and tuning in and watching our videos as we put them out there. Our count is growing, and we appreciate that. Please keep subscribing, keep liking, commenting on our past videos and this one. Today, the usual cast of characters. We got Jeremy Merrill, Philip Armstrong, Joe Maurer, and we also have a special guest. Sam Niemi is going to be joining us, and he's going to be talking about some things related to VxRail, VCF on VxRail. So we're going to start things off as we normally do. We're going to talk about VxRail updates. We're going to talk about VCF updates, and then we're going to kind of turn it over and beat on Sam for a little bit and see what we can get out of him, right? We're very appreciative of you joining us, Sam. Let's start it off with VxRail 70372, right? That's the latest and greatest that's just been out. Who wants to tell us a little bit of something about that? Come on, guys.
I mean, yeah. So I'll jump in quickly on it.
Yeah.
When you look at 372, if you look at the release notes from both us as well as VMware that picked that up with what is it, update 3E.
3 Echo.
3E is part of that update. A lot of security fixes in there. I know we talked last month a little about some of the vSAN KBs. I think some of that is still, I think it was resolved in a previous release, but it's still from a VxRail perspective, probably a target release that we want customers to get to. Again, going back to, I think what Joe brought up like 3 or 4 months ago, once you get up to 350 or higher, you do have to get up to a secure connect gateway for that dial home.
And I know we talked about this in the past, right? Many of our customers like to land on a release and they just simply sit there, and they sit there sometimes for a very long time. So all of our updates that come out have very important fixes in it, critical patches, etc. So please, if you guys, customers, you guys are watching, try to at least update maybe once a quarter. Maybe you don't have to do it every time we release something because there's a hot fix or a vulnerability on the vSphere side of things and we got to patch our software accordingly, but at least try to get on a regular cadence to stay in front of the updates. Anything else to add in regards to 372? Okay, so, I'm going to bring something up. And it's not one of those things that we often talk about, but there's upgrade paths to get to the 372. And one of the things that some of our customers should be paying attention to before they make the upgrade or before they go down the path of the upgrade is to ensure that whatever version they're coming from, especially in the 4.7 family, can actually land on the target code of 70372. So if you're thinking about an upgrade and you're running on 4.7, please ensure that your Dell personnel or your reps from Dell are paying attention and asking the right questions to make sure that you can land on the appropriate destination. The next,
I'd say to add to that, Curtis, and if you're unsure, you can always check the release notes at the appendix of the release notes that has the upgrade paths. And yeah, to your point, there, even though 4.7 is built off of vSphere 6.7, there are code streams that are newer from if you put it out on a timeline compared to the 7.0 counterparts, which is where you have to wait. And it's not a VxRail thing, right? That's part of an ESXi.
That's what I was going to say. And we have this from time to time with certain releases on when we start getting into the higher numbers of the release train, there's always a path that they can't get to the destination until the next release of the upper train is released. If that was a lot of releases in my sentence there, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Okay, next up.
And real quick, Curtis,
sure.
You brought up the release notes. I will mention another quick thing, just solve. So as a reminder, another tool, another way of very quickly doing a check to ensure that you've got compatibility, or you can go from a version of VxRail to the next version of VxRail, even from a major family upgrade. And one quick reminder is it's now a relatively easy to remember URL. It's now just solve.dell.com. So
since you're talking about solve, Joe, let's keep going on that as a little bit of a sidetrack here, right? We have viewers that are Dell employees, we have viewers that are partners, we have viewers that are customers, and some of those are relatively new to VxRail, so they may not even know what solve is. Yep. So can you just kind of give a quick?
Try to be quick. It's the elevator pitch is that it's our repository of product specific procedures that are for things along the lines of upgrades, maintenance activities, how-tos for the particular product. Obviously, VxRail is one of the core products. So you'll see, nice thing is it encompasses a very wide variety of Dell EMC products, and obviously very, very fundamental and critical to kind of documentation for your VxRail from an ongoing operations maintenance perspective. And then, of course, for our own Dell internal resources, that's the same tool that we use for our own procedures, our own guides for deploy services, things along those lines.
So customers have access and can get to Solve. What is the URL?
It's solve, solve.dell.com now.
All right. So if you guys are out there and you want to check out the procedures, please feel free to go ahead and go to solve.dell.com. We're going to keep going, keep the ball rolling here with VCF, VMware Cloud Foundation, right? There's some new out-of-band patching that's associated with VCF. How do we do that, Philip? And what does that mean for us moving forward? And what does it mean for our customers moving forward?
Yeah, just simply, when it comes to patching VCF, right? It's always important, like back to Joe's point, to read the release notes. It gives you the guidance on, what versions are supported from which version to which. But when it comes to vCenter patch, maybe an NSX patch, we have a tool from VMware that we support to have out of band. It's not a full release of VCF, it's just a patch, right, for vCenter or for something like NSX. The release that Jeremy was just talking about for VxRail 7.0.372, which we released this month, we have a path forward for our customers that are running on VCF, specifically 4.4.1.1. That release works with VxRail 7.0.371. There's a KB article that walks you through how to perform the out-of-band patch upgrade to .372. So if you're running 371, you want to get to vSphere 7.0 update 3E. There's a KB article, and we'll share it in the link, but it walks through scenario one. You're an existing customer with an already deployed cluster running 7.0.371 and how to upgrade. And then the secondary would be for our services and our customers as we do the deployments of a new cluster. So we'll give you the KB article. It talks about downloading the new patch and downloading a script that you can run to kind of kick off that process for you. Just follow the KB article. It's something that our support team can help with as well.
So you're saying this out-of-band patching of the individual components of
That's
the
right.
VCF construct.
Right. Instead of going to the next release of VCF, it's just patching. In this scenario, we're just patching vSphere. ESX.
Gotcha.
And Philip, for that async tool, that's primarily targeted for security point fixes or something like that. It's not something that would be part of the day-to-day, if you will, upgrade process. You usually want to follow that bill of materials that VCF puts out.
Yeah, like 90% of the time, SDDC Manager, fully automated, integrated with VxRail Manager, all of your administration is going to go through that. But then every now and then, like we have this release for 7.0.372. It's going to be a little bit different, and we have the KB article that walks you through that.
So cool. if a customer chooses to patch, like you just said, vSphere, for example, or vCenter or NSX or an individual component, what happens when the full-blown release comes out? Does it see that it's already patched and go over it? Do they have to do anything additional when they go to do the full bill of material upgrade? Yeah,
in this scenario, no. It's just if you follow the KB article, it'll just be continue on, like a normal process.
Gotcha.
Right? If you don't follow the KB article and you do things, out of sorts, not following, VxRail best practices, then, obviously that can cause some trouble where support would have to be engaged.
Okay.
Don't upgrade your firmware or something without using, the
tools.
Solve instructions.
Gotcha. All right. So, I mean, that leads us into the next thing that's near and dear to our heart, talking about upgrades, right? Upgrades in the VxRail world, or in this case, upgrades in the VCF world. And to tell us a little bit about where we stand with the upgrades. And, let's be honest, some of our customers, it's public knowledge. We don't have to be all pretty, it's not always, what is it? Rainbows and butterflies. What is it? How's that saying?
That's right. Rainbows and unicorns or something.
Sorry, rainbows and unicorns. It's not always rainbows and unicorns with every company that's out there, right? Some companies have situations that they need to address and they need to make themselves better. And there are times that, those companies need to fall on the sword, take ownership and move forward. that's for those customers that know what I'm talking about when it comes to VCF upgrades. You know, they felt a little bit of pain in the last 12 months. Has it been longer? Sam, how long has it been?
Oh, 18 months.
About
Yeah.
18 months, for the last 18 months. And, you know, we've made very good strides in making things better. And to join us today, again, thank you, Sam, for joining us and being able to shed some light on where we stand today with VCF upgrades.
Yeah, sure. So quick introduction. I'm Sam. I'm Senior Product Manager. I lead the VCF on VxRail product. And I'm here to talk about upgrades and the good news that we have around them. So, you know, like Curtis mentioned, you know, I think it's been 18 months now. We went from, I think we're just almost at 3 years now of VCF and VxRail, maybe a little bit over. We went from 0 VCF and VxRail installs to thousands. So I mean, we went from no nodes up deployed at all to customers who were deploying at a 500 node scale at a time, up into thousands of nodes at certain customers. And you know, as we grew and as VCF grew and grew into the 2 to the 3 to the 4 train, we absolutely experienced some growing pains. I mean, we ran into things that when you go from testing in a lab to having thousands of nodes deployed among hundreds of clusters, you see so many more errors and problems and challenges that you never ran into before. So 18 months ago or so, we, Dell, put a pause or a limited hold on our executed upgrades. So customers call 1-800-VxRail under their pro support contracts and say, hey, I want you, Dell, to upgrade my system. We put a pause on that. And the reason we did that is so that we could take a look, honestly, at the software again and say, here's what's broken. Here's what we need to fix. Here's a timeline to fix it. And we made some really big changes between February of last year and today, and some of the cool things. So I might as well, instead of bearing the lead here, we've had that hold or that pause on upgrades since February of last year. And as of, I don't remember when this is getting posted, but
we'll post it on the 1st. So we're good.
Yeah.
As of the 1st, as of today, future today, we are now lifting that RPQ hold. So customers were before, they used to have to open an RPQ to get our team to execute an LCM for them. That is going away. Now you just call in and do the regular service ticket and get one of our teams to upgrade your system. So it's huge. The thing that I'm really grateful to all the really smart people who've worked on this for the last 18 months is that we have made huge strides in the quality of the LCM. I mean, we went from, frankly, a really bad place on our LCM success rate to 92 to 95% of all of our LCMs completing without escalation, without any kind of escalation needed.
Yeah. So 2 things to add there, Sam.
Yeah.
I think just for clarification for those watching that may not understand the RPQ process,
Sure,
is that it was I know we called it internally probably a pause, but from a customer perspective, we weren't saying, hey, if customers called in, we weren't helping them. It was just a little more of a coordinated process and scheduled process so that we could make sure we had the proper expectations with them for that, which I think was the right thing to do. And then to add into what you said, I mean, we see it in our lab environments even. I think one of the big things is you mentioned, focusing on LCM quality, but I also saw a lot of LCM features put in. I mean, taking to Philip's point earlier about having the async patch tool. We used to have the skip level tool, which now being part of SDDC Manager is a huge win for those customers as well.
Yeah, and just to touch on that, so you mentioned like with the RPQ hold, and sorry, this is the life I've led now for the last 18 months, so I kind of forget that there's a life outside of VCF LCM upgrades. We never stopped letting customers do it themselves, right? And a lot of customers out there were successfully executing LCMs. In the event that they ran into a problem, they could call in and get support. Same thing today. What we did is that for our RPS teams, our RPS is a remote proactive support. So when you call 1-800-VxRail and say, hey, I'd like to get my VxRail system upgraded under my support entitlement under Pro Support Plus, Pro Support or Pro Support Plus, those teams are overburdened. I mean, with the challenges that we had with LCM quality before, with the number of stopping points that we call it every time that thing would stop, and you'd have to go figure it out and then start the LCM again, et cetera, et cetera. I'm waving my hand here, but it's all distorted thanks to Zoom. As you ran into those stopping points, those teams were working 60, 80-hour weeks, and that was just untenable. So we put that hold in place, not to stop LCMs from happening, but to space them out and give our teams a chance to work 40-hour weeks again, give our LCM quality, our software quality, a chance to catch up, outgrow those growing pains that we ran into. And that's what we did. We approved, I think, 98% of all LCM RPQs that came in, and the 2% that we didn't approve were either redundant, like literally separate open tickets that we counted anyway, or unnecessary. Like it was, hey, you don't actually need to open an RPQ ticket to LCM your own system. We never needed that. So the 2% that didn't were only for outside circumstances. We never turned a customer down for an LCM.
So Sam, the upgrades that you're talking about going within family upgrades, right?
Mm-hmm.
The processes that you guys put in place to enhance what we have right now, I am assuming that they will carry over when customers are in VCF 5 or in VCF 6 or whatever the future may hold. This is not just upgrades specifically associated with things with VCF 3.x or VCF 4.x. This is processes and policies to make things as smooth as possible indefinitely for
That's
any
right.
version of code that should come out, right?
Yeah. And I mean, we do have a large amount of customers who rely on RPS, on Dell teams to perform the LCMs, but we also have a large amount of customers who do it themselves. Mm-hmm. And with that, customer is our focus. And with the customer in mind, we will continue to make every single update, whether it's on the 3X train, 4X train, 5, 6, 7, and beyond. Those will always get LCM quality focus from now on. I mean, not that they didn't before, but now that we understand the scale and scope, and frankly, we have the large customer base, it's easier for us to see things that might go awry. So we can focus on that going forward. The other thing to mention too is that working obviously with VCF and VxRail, it's a combination of VxRail and VCF, obviously. But that means that we have Dell teams and we have VMware teams working on this. And with our VMware counterparts, one of the huge awesome things that we're doing, and part of the reason why we are able to lift that LCM RPQ requirement today on August 1st, is because our VMware teams, our VMware folks, are standing up an all-new services team called their SRE team to be able to execute upgrades for our VCF and VxRail customers. So those teams will be able to execute those. You still call Dell, you still call the same 1-800-VxRail number. We're still going to project manage it, but we will have VMware folks, VMware individuals actually working those upgrades. So if something does go wrong, they have straight and immediate access to the VMware staff to fix it. So we don't have to escalate, across companies. We don't have to go try to access KBs that we frankly might not have access to because VMware is a separate entity. But now all of our remote proactive upgrades will be executed by VMware, and that's humongous. I mean, they've gone from not having the staff at all in early March to now able to execute, a number of LCM upgrades per week for our customers. So that's in place. It's active right now. It's covered as part of Pro Support and Pro Support Plus. We couldn't be more happy that is kicking off.
That's
covered.
Yeah, that's tremendous.
Covered as in no cost. I just want to be
That's
clear.
right.
Okay.
Yep. So
No cost, And no
Go ahead.
change in process, right? No
And no
change in
yes.
process. They
That's right.
still
Yeah.
call the same number, do the same process. It's just all back end stuff that we deal with for them.
That's right. That's right. And
Here's the
it's we sell every single VCF and VxRail system with Pro Support or Pro Support Plus, and both have this entitlement. So whether you have Pro Support or Pro Support Plus, you get this for free. So you're like, hey, I don't want to do my upgrades. I want to send this over to VMware. You call 1-800-VxRail, and we will get that sorted for you.
And
That's awesome.
as for some in the fine print of Pro Support Plus, I think it says 2 annually, but is there a limit that you've seen or that we've stuck to in regards to how many times I can call them?
I don't know. That I don't know. And I feel like I'm going to say something wrong, get slapped by services. So
we get slapped all the time. We just deal with
what
it.
if-
and move on.
I'll have to follow up on that. I don't think there's a limit. I don't think we've ever said no to a customer. But I'll probably get slapped by services for something. I don't know.
Jeremy's pinging me behind the scenes, folks. Tell me I'm turning into Geraldo Rivera. I don't know if you guys know who that is. What does that do?
Grilling for
A
sale over
Donahue
there.
interview or something.
I would have
Yeah.
said what Alfonso Rivero, is that
All right. So Sam, anything else that you would like to add? I mean, you got a captive audience here. So it's your platform right now.
no, I just the things I can't thank our engineering teams. I can't thank our customers enough for helping us grow VCF and VxRail, not only to be a huge customer base, but to be the better product it is today. Our customers, we met with them at the VxRail Customer Advisory Council. Our customers are fantastic, and our customers get it. That I had a customer say to me that even with the challenges, even with the LCM stuff, LCMing something at like a data center scale. I mean, when we execute an LCM on a VCF and VxRail deployment, it's vSphere, vCenter, vSAN, NSX, vRealize automation bits. It's all these different, best of breed suites inside of the VMware landscape. And we're doing that all at once. And even with those challenges, it would still be an incredible task for a customer to do it without VCF. So getting all those things executed is fantastic. But again, our customers are awesome, and they get it, and they're here with us, and we're here with them, and we're making the product even better for them going forward. I don't know. I think that's probably about it. I'm trying to think of other like cool stats and stuff. I'm looking at some of our numbers here. We're 92 to 95% of upgrades are happening without any kind of escalation. We've got a 93% decrease in our stopping points. Like when I said that, you kick off an LCM and it pukes and stops in the middle of the thing. We've decreased that number by 93%. That's crazy to me. So for every 100 stopping points we had before, now we have 7. I mean, that's just awesome. So we're going to continue to focus on LCM quality. We're giving our customers that ability to call us up and have their upgrades done for them. And now, looking forward into VCF 5 and carrying all this stuff over, we've learned so much, and this is just a better and better thing every day. So we're back, baby. VCF and VxRail is back.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sam, thank you again for joining us. Jeremy, Philip, Joe, as usual, guys. Thanks.
I would just like to give one more thanks out to Sam.
Sure.
Not only for joining us, Sam, but for what you've been doing over the last couple of years. I know from our side, and you sticking through all this. I know it's been a long road, but I'm sure.
Yeah,
In addition to our customers, I know the 4 of us greatly appreciate it.
we do.
Well, I really appreciate that. I mean, I've had my moments, and it's been,
we won't talk about those.
Let's don't get it wrong. I mean, sometimes we kind of sit back and chuckle as you get beat up by customers, or as you fight back and forth with VMware. But it's all part of the gig, right? There is no perfect product. Unfortunately, if there was, there'd probably be only one product.
That's true.
Yep.
Every company has design trade-offs.
Yeah.
So we have to figure out what those are and if they can match with our customers.
Yeah, so I appreciate it, guys, and I really appreciate all the feedback and support and customer interface that you folks have, and I just hope for more. I'm happy to do that. Happy to talk to anyone. I've put myself out there with customers who have not been thrilled to have a product with challenges for the last 18 months, but Like I said, we're back, and it's a really good feeling. I'm really excited for this RPQ thing to be lifted, and for salespeople to say, hey, this is look at all the changes that we've made. That's awesome stuff. Cool.
And with that, folks, as usual, like, comment, subscribe. Anything you guys want to see, any topics you guys want to hear or discuss, please post it in the comments, and we'll try to accommodate. Thank you. Enjoy.
Awesome. Thank you.